go.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to another weekly edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast covering all things that are UFC. What else we got? We got Dream. Are they still around? No. Do we have PFL? Oh, they're still around. PFL.
Still here. Still here.
Maybe.
No, don't be all angry.
Anyway.
Mr. Sniffleupagus.
I know, man. We are your diseased podcast for the day. At least one of us is.
1 out of 3. 1 out of the 3 podcasters are sick today. Probably 3 out of 3 tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Hopefully you got nothing planned. Have a great weekend.
I got a lot of sick leave. I'm good. We'll be all right.
Anyway, we got all the late-breaking MMA news, rumors, things to talk about, retirements, and of course we have events to go over and events to talk about that are going down this weekend. It's a big weekend of MMA.
Is it?
Yeah, man. We got like 4 events to talk about.
And there's a lot of news this week.
A
lot of upset people and just crying people.
Let's start with
Trudeau up in Canada. He's happy.
Start off with one of those. One of those is Mr. Dustin Poirier goes on Twitter and says that the UFC should release him. Yeah. He is upset basically because Dana White said that he was trying to make Tony Ferguson or Conor McGregor fight.
That's what the kids call a tryhard. He's just trying to be like Nate. Everyone's like, oh, release me.
Really? Yeah. But you can't. You have a contract, right?
You do have a contract.
So because people.
And then there's that rumor that El Kakui was going to fight Conor, or El Kakui was going to fight who else was it? Max Holloway. Right. So
everybody is going off that Wikipedia page that you brought up.
Hey, I don't know. It's still there.
Yeah, I know.
Keeps getting brought back together. Anyway, he's saying that these guys should just release me. And then of course Laquinta says he needs to be released too.
Yeah.
I mean, if the GOAT could get as much money, Artem, there's money out there for these guys.
There's money out there. It's there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, since Dana White has already said that he feels that there needs to be an interim title anyway because of Khabib wanting to sit out, Dustin not getting the call, do you think that's enough for him to say I need to be released?
No, as long as you're getting your money and you got fights coming, that's what you sign on your contract. Your contract never told you, oh, you get this after this, you get that after that. All it says, your contract, right? If I'm not mistaken, I'll try to get you 3 fights a year, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
do you think Dustin has a legitimate gripe here in saying that I should be the one getting an interim shot, so maybe him and El Kakui should be fighting? I mean, in my opinion, it does make a little bit of sense that I don't think Max Holloway needs to be brought into the conversation.
Honestly, I don't think Tony wants an interim title again.
Right. I don't think it's the sit down and hold your breath kind of thing you need to do. I mean, just let things play out. Going anywhere else, you're just going to ruin your stock. Don't you? Do you agree with that?
Somewhat, yeah. Yeah,
right.
I definitely do. Who would you like to see if they're going to create this interim title, which Dana White seems to be wanting to do anyway? Who would you rather see? Would you see Dustin against Tony, Dustin against Conor against Tony?
I would feel better if you just made the belt, and I've already said this before, to just say number 1 contender.
Okay.
I don't think he needs a belt.
No
He's
interim.
going to come back. I mean,
okay, so no interim. So then, who would you like to have fight in the meantime? Again, like you were saying, for a number 1 contendership spot.
I don't even know what the rankings are.
The rankings don't matter. You know what I mean?
I would agree by that certain people have already had their chances. Certain people's fallen out of fights. So I would agree that Poirier
is one of the guys that I think should deserve a shot.
But again, I don't think
Al should. Al's Al, but I don't think he deserves a shot.
Yeah.
Al's claim is that he went 5 rounds on short notice. Yeah. Everybody else got finished.
And I don't think that. And as much as they feel like they're sticking it to Dana White by saying release me, you're really screwing us. You're screwing the fans. You know what I mean? Because if we had our choice and we could vote it in, we probably would set up.
Yeah.
But again, we would set it up for number 1 contendership. It wouldn't be.
I don't even know rankings actually matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why anybody like you say is trying to fight for an interim belt. What does it mean?
They don't mean anything.
We've already found out with Colby Covington, they just deactivate it.
We should just go ahead and get rid of the interim title and call it a lineal champion and move it to an active champion. Not an interim title fight, but an actual title fight. Whoever had the championship is now the lineal champion. And when they want to come back, they might have to wait because of timing to get that fight, but they get a title shot.
Similar to boxing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aaron Murrow, she's saying Ferg against Poirier.
I like that fight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't even know Fergie was a fighter. Herner London.
Moving up from there, Jake Collier has accepted his 10-month suspension from USADA. for testing positive for hygenamine, which is a general stimulant.
Is it bad that the only person I recognize is the Golden Stitch?
No, I recognize the name. I don't recognize the picture.
It's from his out-of-competition sample from last December. He is coming off his win over Marcel Fortuna back at November 2017. He has not fought since November 2017. Wow.
Time served or what?
Yeah, it will be time served.
Eric Colwell's chiming in about the fights. He's saying it doesn't matter who it is as long as it's just reckless abandonment. That's all he wants. He wants carnage.
He likes the carnage.
We like carnage too. And carne asada.
A fight that they have announced and is going to be for the interim belt. For the interim 185-pound belt, since Robert Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles, is out recovering from surgery, we are going to have undefeated Israel Adesanya, the style bender, going up against Kevin Gastelum at April 13th on UFC 236.
Yeah, I know we just got done crapping on interim belts, but this is the one. If you were going to have one, this is the one that deserves one, I think. And
It deserves one.
If Bobby Knuckles wasn't hurt for so long, I think they would have skipped Kelvin and gave it to Adesanya.
Anyway,
so it kind of worked out, I think.
What do you think?
I don't know, man. It's like he said, we just dumped all over it.
I mean, do you think it's better than Gastelum walking around with a fucking Cejudo's belt saying that he's the real champion?
I just want to, like a lot of people chimed in, I hope they clean him up.
Ooh, so he doesn't have staff?
I'm just saying. I don't know what he had. A lot of it was alleged.
Who do you think wins this fight?
I'm going to go with Gastelum.
Oh, no.
No. Stylebender.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I have to stick to my I'm so anti-stylebender, especially after he couldn't finish Anderson.
Well, speaking of Anderson, he is also getting his wish in a fight immediately after his fight with Stylebender. He is going to be fighting on UFC 237 in Brazil. He asked to be put on any card in Brazil. The next Brazil card he wanted to get put on, they immediately put him on that card. That is going down in May.
This is how the amateur circuit works. You lose a fight, and then the next one you're the main event.
But he's not the main event.
For a belt.
He's not the main event. He's not going for a belt.
Yeah.
He's just going to be on the card. He asked to be put on a pay-per-view.
He's finishing his contract.
I think he's finishing his contract, finishing his career out. He will be fighting Jared Cannonier. Do you like that fight? Do you not like that fight? I think it's a very odd choice for Anderson Silva to fight, but I mean, at least he's getting his wish to go to Brazil.
I don't think it helps either of them.
No. I mean, Jared Cannonier wins. You defeated a legend.
But he's not going to.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked
come
into
on,
it that much,
Stylebender couldn't finish him, but this guy's going to come in and do it.
He looked like he was.
Are you telling me Cannonier's better than your Stylebender?
He gave you the.
I don't know if Stylebender actually pushed the pace like he could have.
Oh, he took it easy on his.
I'm not saying
because it was his.
It was respect.
It was respect. Respect.
One championship. I always continue to say one FC. It's just much easier than saying one championship. Saying one championship is weird.
It's like saying WWF. You can't do that, man.
Yeah, can't do that. Get the F out. One championship has announced their Flyweight World Grand Prix. Demetrius Johnson is obviously in this Grand Prix. He's facing Yuya Wakamatsu.
You said a mouthful.
In the first round. Tatsumi Wada is going to be fighting Ivando Delfino. Karat Akhmetov is going to be fighting Reese McLaren. Danny Kingaid is going to be fighting Andrew Leon. So there is your your flyweight Grand Prix from one.
Is this going to be for $1 million too? Is Fiddy going to put $1 million on this one?
It's for Earth Realm, I think.
Going down March 31st from Tokyo.
There's like each country.
Let's talk about this.
I think everybody should start putting the belts together that you get a little stone. Or they should just make a belt that you could take to other promotions, and then you put that promotion stone.
Just clicks in.
You know, like the maps on the back of motorhomes?
I like that idea.
Bro, you know where I fought from?
Wesley Santos, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You have pretty much guaranteed that Mackenzie Dern will never make 115 pounds again. Mackenzie Dern announcing on her Instagram that she is pregnant. with her boyfriend's baby. She says, God makes everything so perfect. I am so happy to be able to share this news. I'm going to be a mom. I love so much our family, and now I have one more huge motivation inside and outside the ring. Thank you for God for blessing us. I want to thank all my fans and sponsors for support during all life phases, and I can't wait to be back.
You never know. Once they start breastfeeding, sometimes that baby will take a lot of weight off of them. So to make weight, instead of, sweating it out, she could just milk it out.
Number 1, does Mackenzie Dern ever come back
I
to
see
fight?
nobody wants to touch that.
Does Mackenzie Dern actually come back to fight?
We're not going to talk about it.
Why would she?
You think she's just done?
I don't know. I think she has other opportunities to do other things. Okay. So
yeah,
I think she came in and did what she wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't think fighting is probably for her. She likes jiu-jitsu, but
if she does, can she make 115?
Yeah, I definitely think she goes back to jiu-jitsu though.
Yeah,
I think she's either as an exhibition thing or going around and working with people. But as far as professionally doing this, I don't know. Yeah.
The biggest news to come out of this week, George St Pierre has announced his official retirement.
I didn't hear that.
I thought he retired way back when he was Bisbee.
I thought he got abducted.
He got abducted. Leading up to this whole kind of like situation, obviously it was leaked out there that he was going to make a big announcement. He was going to have a whole press conference talking about his retirement. Khabib Nurmagomedov put out there on let's do this in November. After this fight, you can retire, but please, I grew up on your fights. Have nothing but respect for you. I believe I showed you that, George, when you were in Moscow. Let's do it at 155 or 160. Montreal, New York, Moscow, Abu Dhabi, wherever you want. Send me location, my friend. So there's a lot of people that were asking for him to stick around. He says that he had tried to make the Khabib fight happen twice with the UFC. The UFC had other plans, and that was the only fight that he was interested in.
Yeah, and Dana was still mad that he took the belt and then never defended. After he told everybody, no, I talked to him and he's going to at least one fight in that weight division after this. Yeah. And GSP came out. The hell I'm not.
No. Khabib time.
Yeah.
I'll go to 155.
I'll take another belt and not defend it. Like your leprechaun friend. Just take belt, no defend.
A lot of people on Twitter, a lot of MMA fighters and fans and journalists and all that stuff wishing George St Pierre the best. Sad, Chael Sonnen, sad day. The greatest ever has retired. Khabib. You look at the video and you'll understand why I wanted to fight him. He's simply one of the best of all times. I wanted to share a cage while he was active. Anyway, good luck to you, your legend. Dana White, congrats to an amazing career. Madison Square Garden put up a big thing on their digital board. Thank you, George St. Pierre.
I can make one of those. You guys want to be up there? I got you, fam.
Big John McCarthy said I was lucky enough to officiate 7 of his fights in the octagon, including his first championship and his last. It's always an honor to work your fights. Do you think, obviously we put this up there as a poll on both our Instagram and our Facebook page. George St. Pierre, greatest of all time at welterweight. I'm not talking greatest of all time overall, any weight class. That's a whole other conversation, which I do think he belongs in that conversation.
Right.
But we'll just talk about just at welterweight. Is he the greatest of all time?
Today, I believe that.
Thus far,
yeah. I mean, anybody could, right? Anybody could overcome him.
Of people who weren't drug tested.
Maybe like during his reign, like I didn't always think that.
But looking back, he didn't say yeah. Our poll, 78% on Facebook said yes. 60% on Instagram both said yes.
I think the numbers are actually higher since finding out that my vote. No, I didn't vote wrong.
There's too many choices.
My vote was
There's too many choices. I asked everybody online, do you think he's the greatest welterweight of all time or just in the top 5?
Right.
All right, that's a lot of words.
And I know somebody that was like, greatest welterweight of all time. Then why'd you vote top 5? Did I?
Yeah. I was one of them. I don't... Because it doesn't tell you how you voted.
No, it doesn't. I can see how everybody voted.
Yeah, that's why you asked me about it. And I'm like, no, that's not how I
It's
voted.
not a secret ballot. I definitely see. Which I asked questions. For those who voted that he was only in the top 5, that he's not the greatest welterweight of all time, please give me someone who is. At least give me an answer. You can't just say, because I don't like him, because he's French Canadian, because he has a fleur-de-lis tattoo. No, I want to know why. Somebody else is above him. Who is that other person? And
the funky one, Ben, he could possibly.
Yeah, we talked about different guys that could possibly be considered the greatest of all time at some time, or even better than George St. Pierre right now. People were talking about online. Ben Askren.
Yeah,
he's undefeated.
Right.
He was Bellator champ. He was the one champ. He has 7 defenses.
But still, that even saying those 2 promotions, he hasn't fought the caliber of fighters,
and that's why I think he does not consider it.
Not by his choice.
Not by his choice. He's wanted to fight. We'll see. He could end up being greatest of all time as he gets through his career here in the UFC. Who knows what's going to happen?
I don't know, because I do know that Dana offered him something 2.5 years ago, and then they both got into like this beefy thing. So I mean, he could have been in the UFC a lot sooner. But again, it's hard to turn down briefcases of money. And he was being treated like a king where he was fighting.
Yeah.
So
I had a lot of discussions with people, whereas Nick Diaz was in the conversation, obviously not at the top. Mizaki, Pat Milicek, Carlos Condit back in the day, BJ Penn for just being the first guy to jump from 155 to 170.
You laugh, man.
I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about Eric Kowal, who says we almost have forgot about CM Punk.
Tyron Woodley has been obviously put into the conversation as of recently. I do respect his wins over Lawler, Gastelum, and Maya. However,
I respect T. Woodley's comment about GSP. He was like, "Oh man, after my next fight, I was going to totally call him out."
Yeah, I was going to totally call him out again. But to me, the losses that he has against Shields, Rory, and Marquardt kind of don't put him, in my opinion, do not put him in the top for greatest of all time. I think the only one that comes close is Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes retired at 45-9. He had the belt twice. He had 7 total defenses. He, at the time, from 2001 to 2006, defeated some of the who's who at welterweight. I mean, we're talking Carlos Newton, Sakurai, Frank Trigg, Chris Lytle, Joe Riggs, BJ Penn, Gracie, Shirk. I mean, these are like, he beat GSP once, but then GSP came back and beat him twice.
So
handedly.
So because of the level of non-competition, we can't take Demetrius Johnson or Jose Aldo.
Both those guys are not at welterweight.
We're talking about welterweight. Well, right. No, I thought we were talking about the
at welterweight.
Okay,
I'm talking about welterweight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Completely different conversation.
Okay.
I'm talking about welterweight.
No, I thought we had veered into the all-time.
The only other guy I think that could be considered the greatest of all time at welterweight.
I got a lot of stuff to pay attention to.
That could be considered the greatest of all time at welterweight is Matt Hughes, and I think because of George St. Pierre defeating Matt Hughes twice.
And he beat a train. We didn't make that statement. Eric Kowal said he beat a train.
He didn't beat it. That's what happened.
Yeah, he was singing that Cowboy Troy song.
I gotta say, George St. Pierre, greatest of all time at welterweight.
Yeah, I think so.
You agree?
Thus far.
Things could happen.
Could totally happen.
Let's recap some fights. We had Invicta 34 happen on, what day was this? This was the 15th. Friday? Yeah.
Right.
Your main event ended in a technical decision. Vanessa Porto got the win over Pro Gonzalez. However, she suffered a horrible eye poke injury that tore her eye. Pearl Gonzalez's fingerprint was found on her eye.
Wow.
That's how in there it was.
It was indented.
I mean, somewhere John Jones is like, "Oh, good job. Good job. I've taught you well."
And Megan Anderson's like, "Hold my toe."
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that got kept as what
we
it was.
knew it would be.
We knew it was.
There was no way. I mean, you can say that someone purposely jabbed a finger in someone's eye. I have yet to see anybody stick a third toe purposely in someone's eye.
Get it in there.
Yeah.
Again, so Vanessa Porto becomes your flyweight champion for Invicta. That's going to take some time to heal.
Interim title.
It's the interim title. Speaking of another injury and another fight, we had Bellator 215, Metrione versus Karnatanov take place that same day. On your main card, Austin Vanford over Cody Jones, John Dumas over Mike Kimball, Eduardo Dantes over Toby Mishk, Logan Storley over Ion Pascu, and Matt Metrione with a no contest with Sergey Karnatanov due to a groin kick 15 seconds into the first round.
Can we just say exploded testicle? Because he did, right?
He did get a hemorrhoid? Did I hear that right?
I thought he blew a testicle and a hemorrhoid.
I know he got a hemorrhoid from the kick. That's a kick, man.
Well, yeah.
That's exerting a lot of pressure somewhere for it to appear out of somewhere else.
Well, I've had grazes that made me feel like I blew out an O-ring before, where you just bend over and you get that watery slobber. So getting a direct shot, exactly, and it doesn't happen right when it happens. It's like you got some time.
No, yeah, you saw him get kicked, and then he kind of stepped back and was like, "Oh no,
no."
So yeah, still more exciting than the next main event. MVP versus Daly, Bellator 216 happened on DAZN, DAZN.
Aaron Moreau said that he literally said, "My ball fell flat." Like there was just a blank spot.
Whoop, gone. Valerie Loretto defeated Colby Fletcher. Yaroslav Armazov defeated Eric Silva. Czech Congo defeats Vitaly Minkanov. Crocop defeats Roy Nelson, who turns around and shaves his beard. Did you see that?
Yeah. I only got it because he had his shirt on.
He looked like a fat Mayhem Miller. That's just my opinion. Michael Venom Page defeated Paul Daly in a snooze fest, man.
It was.
Paul Daly tried to wrestle the whole time.
After saying, well, I'll sign a clause, no takedowns.
Yeah.
That's not the most boring MVP fight I've seen, though. When he fought Gonzalez, that was fucking boring.
This was I mean,
with the years,
do you think MVP would last 2 fights in
no,
the
his
UFC?
next. I think he's going to get worked on his next fight, right?
Well, yeah. Who do we have him coming up against?
Is it Polio? I don't know.
You're
safer to look stuff up. If I try to look stuff up, we might lose the show.
Everything shuts down.
Maybe somebody like Eric Kowal might know who they got him.
What the bracket was? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Finch and I think it's the winner of Finch and whoever he's.
Oh, Douglas Lima. He's gonna be fighting Douglas.
Yeah,
Lima.
Lima.
That was way wrong.
Way off. Scott Coker coming out saying he wants to have Mirko Crocop and Fedor fight one more time before they end their careers.
But I thought
would you be interested in that fight?
I thought he said that Fedor was good to go and that he didn't need to fight anymore.
But he wants him to fight Crocop one more time. Would you be okay with that fight?
He's a Indian giver.
I'd be okay with that fight.
Yeah,
I love that fight.
I'd watch it.
They're both up there. Just a little bit of HGH for both of them. Just a little bit of HGH.
A lot. Let them do whatever they want to do.
Let them do whatever they want.
Have at it.
UFC on ESPN.
Some ephedrine, everything.
UFC on ESPN 1. This is the first event that we had on the regular espn. Actually starting off on ESPN Plus, we had Emily Whitmer over Alexandra Ablu, Luke Sanders over Henan Barao.
Man.
Moving on to the main prelim card on regular ESPN, Nick Lentz over Scott Holtzman. Andrea KGB defeated Ashley Evans Smith. Manny Bermudez over Benito Lopez, and Aljamain Sterling
I
over
felt
Jimmy
so
Rivera.
bad. I felt so bad for Ashley.
Yeah?
But I mean, this was finally the time Andrea Lee went in there and did what she needed to do.
I felt Ashley Evans Smith, while her stand-up has improved, it's not improved as much as Andrea KGB's was, and I felt that she used her wrestling too little too late. Her wrestling is very, very good. She's a very highly decorated wrestler, and I just felt like she used it a little bit too late in the rounds.
Right. It was, I don't know, for us being an Ashley girl.
Yeah.
But we've long awaited to KGB to do what she needs to do. Like, I was torn before the fight started. I felt bad after.
Andre Touchy-Feely gets the win over Miles Jury.
Yes.
Vincent and Luke over Brian Barberina with a TKO. Kron Gracie getting the rear naked choke in the first round against Bruce Leroy.
I mean,
Like
how did you not see that coming?
Yeah.
Like a frog
There wasn't
in
even a
science
mount,
class.
right? There was no mount, no nothing. He just...
Whoop. Cynthia Calvillo gets the win over Courtney Casey. Paul Felder gets the win over James Vick. And your main event, Francis Ngannou gets the win over Cain Velasquez, KO 26 seconds. Now, we do know what happened. First, let's talk about the broadcast before we get into this breakdown of the main event.
You guys want to talk about the Felder at all? Because, I mean, we all thought Vic was going to come in and just work that.
Hey, good for Felder, man. Good for fucking
do
Felder,
you-
who left with a collapsed lung.
Right. Do you think it was because James just came in too confident?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I think Felder has definitely proven to me with this last fight that he is on
Felder was in the
a
hospital.
big tear. Yeah, he had a collapsed lung. How do you
Getting
feel
free
about
food and shit? People sending him food.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the broadcast where we
Right.
had no ring girls, no corner side, and no walkouts? ESPN just cutting commercial to fight, commercial to fight, commercial to fight.
I think you had called that. I think you had said that there was going to be a lot of cutbacks,
a lot of changes,
a lot of changes is because again, ESPN's no bones about it. Dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, your sport's okay, but dollar bill.
A lot of people were complaining.
Yeah.
To be honest, the Elimination Chamber was on at the same time, so it was back and forth.
They were. So anyways, let's go to the main event. Cain Velasquez knocked out or not knocked out? We put up a poll on our Instagram and our Facebook.
He was.
He got knocked out.
64% on Instagram, 57% on Facebook believe that the knee had more to do with the loss than the actual knockout.
Yeah.
If you're watching it again, he does get hit, what seems like a short uppercut. As the short uppercut happens, he tries to step. Now, this is where the question comes into play. I'm not saying he didn't get hit by the uppercut.
Right.
You can clearly see his head kind of bob back a little bit. My question is, how much damage did the uppercut do? It does look like he goes to step again. When he goes to step again to regain his balance because he's mid-takedown, he just got hit with an uppercut, his knee gives out. He immediately screams as he's going down, "My knee!" Eyes wide as shit. Knee!
Yeah.
And he knows that Ngannou sees him going down, so he turns over to cover. Ngannou, basically gets 2 or 3 shots on the way down.
It looked
So,
like he was out then.
hey,
He was on
so-
the ground.
yeah.
He hit
But
him
I
like the
mean,
2-3
you
times.
guys are on my side. We should have let it go a couple more hits.
No, I think it was done. I just don't believe all the people that say that Cain Velasquez was unconscious
No, he wasn't.
and knocked out.
No.
I think he got hit. He stepped bad on a bad knee. There have been videos that have been found. If you go back to our Facebook page where we asked this question, there's a video from the open workouts the day before in which he makes the same misstep and slips and
Right.
tweaks his knee.
And even the coach come out and said he never said nothing to me.
But he didn't say anything to me. He didn't,
Right.
but if you're watching that video, someone pointed that video out to us. We put it up on there that you can check that out.
Hey, Aaron Moreau, I can tell you right now, there's a laundry list of things that could have been coming, but they didn't come, and I think it was called too early. But again, you know me, if they die, they die.
If you can't take it, you'll say something, right? If you can't handle it, you'll say
Yeah.
something.
Maybe when he yelled knee, maybe the ref thought he was tapping.
That actually is a tap, though.
If the
What?
knee
To scream my knee?
Scream in pain, yeah. That's a verbal sign.
verbal submission, do you think Cain Velasquez needs to retire? That his body is trying to let him know you're made of glass. You're not meant to do this anymore. Just stop.
We said the same thing about Arlovsky, and
He got yelled at.
he's gone on to win a couple more fights.
I think Cain Velasquez.
And his nose is even more
As
crooked.
much as I like Cain Velasquez, I didn't understand.
Focus. He got hit by a focus.
I don't understand the people that were saying that Cain Velasquez is the greatest heavyweight of all time.
DC says it, and he's might be the greatest.
Yeah.
So if he says it, then you.
I just don't see that. I do think that Cain Velasquez is top 5 heavyweight, maybe top 10. Top 10 for sure. Maybe top 5. Like, he's had a good tear. He's had some good opponents, but
You're talking about the knee?
I'm talking about Cain Velasquez himself. I don't think you can consider him greatest
Yeah,
heavyweight
and
of all
I
time.
agree with these people. I think it should be a TKO, not a KO.
I would agree with the TKO. And
Even
that's
though
what I said.
it doesn't really change, it's still a loss as a loss.
Yeah, it is.
But the T in front of it makes it not so bad.
What about now Dana White saying,
always good.
or not, excuse me, Dana White, Cain Velasquez and Daniel Cormier asking for Francis Ngannou to fight Daniel Cormier for the belt?
Yeah, why wouldn't he? That's a freaking easy fight.
Not only that, but you can avenge your teammate's loss.
I don't.
Do you think Cain Velasquez comes back?
In some form? Maybe not for the UFC.
Okay, so no, you're saying no, he's not coming back to fight for the UFC.
I think that I don't know. He got $450,000 for tweaking his knee. So would I come back to let somebody tweak my knee for another $450,000? Yes, because he's on that. That's right. He can't get less money per fight now.
I don't think so.
The way the tier system works. And he's obviously got at least 1 or 2 fights left on his contract.
We'll see. I mean,
Well,
nobody
nobody said immediately. Well, this was his last fight on the
Right,
contract.
very true, yeah.
So if he's got another $450,000, I'm led to believe he will at least try to have something in the UFC, right?
But I mean, again, do you think his body is finally saying, "Look, Cain, you've been out on injury for how many years now?"
Finally, he's always been.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's kind of been.
You're always out on injury. I mean, Joey calls him Mr. Glass. He has since we started the
but
show.
he's got 450,000 reasons to try to fight again.
Going down tonight, we have EBI. This is the Eddie Bravo Invitational. This is now Combat Jiu-Jitsu. This is in L.A. somewhere, right?
Yeah, Southern California.
Southern California, there we go.
Brandon Moreno's fighting on it, or has a match. Guy Bo Brooks from around here, and then Nick Maximoff, which honestly is probably the greatest amateur fighter I've seen. I've probably been doing this like 2 years now.
So why is he staying AMI?
He's college. He's got a college scholarship. He's an All-American wrestler.
Oh, so
There you go.
And because of the NCAA rules, you can't get paid.
You can't get paid. So this is all going down in LA. This is going to be on Fight Pass.
Yeah,
so if
it
you have
starts
Fight
at
Pass,
7.
here is a reason to keep Fight Pass instead of just buying ESPN Plus.
They got all three.
All of them,
yeah. And we
ESPN
we
Plus.
used Fight Pass this week. We went back and watched a couple old fights, so I'm not
You're still
so
okay with
upset
it?
about it. Yeah. It was nice to have. I didn't realize the library goes back that far.
Oh, yeah.
So it was nice.
Also, we have Combate 31, which is on DAZN.
That's in Fresno.
That is in Fresno, in our own backyard here. Who's some of the main we got on there?
Albert Gonzalez, I interviewed him. He made his pro debut and lost last time, so hopefully he can avenge that. And then Adrian Guzman from, I think, Black House MMA. And then Jose Avalos is a big name. Like, there's two of them. Christian, he's not fighting. This is his younger brother. But those guys freaking pack the house every time they fight there in Fresno.
Right on. So make sure you check that out. And then
That'll be on DAZN.
That'll be on
at
DAZN.
7 o'clock, too.
And then going on tomorrow on DAZN, we have Bellator Dublin, Bellator 217, Gallagher versus Graham, Charlie Ward, Jamie Stevenson, Richie Smolin, Adam Gustav, and Peter Queeley against Miles Price, along with, of course, what we just announced here, James Gallagher against Stephen Graham. Apparently, this has some like big guys on the Irish scene on it, and quite a heated rivalry with Queeley and Price, Gallagher and Graham. So check that out if you have DAZN.
What was it? IRA and...
After Gallagher wins, does he smash watermelons?
Yes.
Awesome.
Or he
got
tries to
smashed
smash
last
their head like a watermelon. I don't know
Watermelon.
for sure. And then, of course, we have the UFC on their nonstop freight train of MMA going down all the way to June. A weekend. We have UFC Prague, which is UFC on ESPN Plus 3, UFC Fight Night 146 / UFC Fight Night Blackowitz versus Santos.
So that's what they're calling it? Blackowitz versus Santos?
I thought it was Josh Barnett. I thought it was I was like,
With a beard. So
It's not.
What I think is kind of weird, you got the prelims on ESPN2.
Okay.
The same channel that's doing
How
darts and cornhole and they're showing right now. There's all kinds of this like weird ass sports. They're gonna put it on ESPN2. That's the first time it's gonna be on ESPN2.
I think again they're testing their markets to see how many people, because I want to know the numbers since we've gone away from people not having to pay for. So do we know?
No, we don't know yet.
Yeah, imagine
Do not know
that.
yet.
Imagine that.
Wasn't something on ESPN 3?
That was back. That was the original ESPN Plus.
ESPN 3.
Yeah, that was the original ESPN Plus. That it wasn't a subscription, but you had to have it. I think it was on an app.
Yeah,
Anyway, you have on your main card Magmedov, Anakalev going up against Clydeison Abreu, John Dodson against Peter Yan, Liz Carmouche against Lucille Pudilova,
Pudilova.
Gian Volante
it's
against
easier.
Mikael, Stefan Struve against Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and Jan Blachowicz is your main event against Thiago Santos. Who you got?
Touch on the prelims. Dwight Grant's fighting. He's out of AKA.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So.
Mara's all over the feed. She's all over Santos.
Santos has got some heavy hands, definitely some wild striking. Jan Blachowicz, I do not believe has been TKO'd or knocked out in his career. I don't think so.
Is he's like a Diaz? He just takes a lick and keeps on
He
ticking?
does have one loss. His somewhere in there. TKO retirement. So he got tired.
Sokoju.
He got tired against Sokoju. That's a little bit different.
That guy was a phenom for like
He was for a little bit.
2
Yeah.
fights, maybe.
Yeah, at least 3. But Thiago Santos, man, I think he's got some heavy fucking hands. I'm definitely looking for him to take the win. However, I would not be surprised if Blachowicz gets the UD. Anybody else on there?
We'll see. I'm going to take Thiago.
I'm going to take Thiago as
It's
well.
in Prague, right?
It's in Prague.
Man, that place is crazy. When I was in Germany, a lot of people would go over there and just party. So much.
Oh, well, then Blachowicz is really out.
That place is
It's hard to get away from distractions, you know?
So, yeah, that's it for the show this week. Anything else you guys
No.
have to bring? We got things going on?
No.
Nothing.
Next month we've got fights happening here local. Nothing real close. We were gonna have Ed Mackey, who's a belt holder in 209 beatdown. I'm hoping he still makes it, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, he was supposed to be coming down from Sacramento. Hopefully, maybe it's just some traffic.
Yeah. Well, I don't doubt it. The last thing he said, I'm in Ripon, and everybody knows in that one little straightaway.
Oh, it just stops.
It just stops.
Dead stop.
So
Dead stop. Anyway, that's it, right?
stand up high so they can see who you are. You got your new.
You got your new shirt.
new.
I like
Yeah.
it.
New.
You can
Yeah.
pick. You can pick
Trademark.
these up.
No, not yet.
No, they're not for sale.
Employees only.
Employees only.
Employees only.
You and your kids.
No, just me. No, actually, just a test run. I printed out another logo too. Hopefully, in the future, probably by like next month, I'll have some.
Nice.
Maybe we can
And,
put them on our shirtsicle.
Ooh, shirtsicle. You don't get none of the money though.
You get some of the money. Anyway, that's it. You guys have a good night, and we will see you at the fights.
Buy a shirt.
You never said dependable solution.
No.
It's ruined.
It's ruined.
Go live again.